Good morning, Bernie. Thank you for tuning in to Bernie Radio 103.9. My name is Jeff Flynn. I'm with the Bernie Star managing editor over there on Water Street. We got a good show this morning. Every weekend is busy. This weekend, today, is one of the busiest weekends. We have 8 or 9 events going on. Just open your calendar or just look around town. There's things going on everywhere, from Jones Event Center clear out to the Cibolo Conservation Center and every point in between. But we're here to focus on next weekend. Next weekend, you won't be able to miss it. We've got the Hill Country Rod Run coming back, folks. I've got Josh Mazour here. He's going to tell us all about it and tell us about some surprises and some things that we all look forward to and some things we don't know are coming. Josh, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
For those of us, I've only been there for 2.5 years. And when I come into Boerne and the street's blocked off and there's 500 beautiful cars lining the street, I'm amazed. It takes me an hour to walk past these guys with these beautiful cars. Tell us about the Rod Run. Tell us about its history.
So this is our third year for the Rod Run, organizing it. Prior to that, it had been going on for 35 or 36 years on Main Street. Again, we took it over 3 years ago, and this kind of gave it an upgrade. We allow cars up to 1985 as of this year. For those 35 years prior to us, it was 1949 and below, American made. So it's a huge party. It used to be a one-day event, and now the street is closed for Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. But we have events Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So,
of course, I reveled in Saturday because I like to go up to those guys and talk about, and the women talk about their vehicles, because when I talk about being proud of your vehicle, it's not arrogant or egotistical pride. It's like, I put so much time into this. You know, I love to walk up and talk, hey, how much time do you put in this? How much money do you sock into this? Did you buy this original? Is this something you bought from somebody when it's ramshackled, or is this a kit?
Yeah, and everybody wants to talk about their car, right? So this is an opportunity for them to come out and show it off and do that.
Right. It's amazing when I was walking around and I listen to other people's conversations. That's what I do as a journalist.
Yeah.
I would hear people talking, a gentleman sitting by a truck, and an older, a pre-49 truck, and a gentleman talking to him about how his father had one, or he has one. That camaraderie build up that once you see a car that kicks in, clicks something upstairs because you had one, your dad had one, your friend had one, you fell in love in the back seat of one.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks, and there's the car, like I say, a lot of times there's a beer for everybody. Obviously I'm into beer, but there's an old car for everybody. We kind of run the gamut. There's old school hot rods. You can get late 70s Ford trucks, which are really cool, muscle cars, everything in between. And not everything is fully restored, which is also the fun part. We have a lot of very nice, fully restored customs, but we have cars that are, 16, 18-year-old, and their dad or mom that they're working on, or anybody for that matter. So you can see the whole spectrum, and that's what makes it fun, right? To have cars that people are out there driving.
I enjoyed Saturday immensely last year, but I think it's Sunday I would have loved more. I didn't have an invite. I didn't have a car. Tell me about what happened Sunday. For those of us who walk the street Saturday or are here Friday, tell us about what happens on Sunday.
Well, Sunday's fun. It's something that we added to the lineup for the event, and we call it the Reliability Run. And on Sunday, what we do is we meet in the square, and we never know how many people are going to show up, and it's on the agenda. We send a map out. But we go for a hill country drive on Sunday, and it's a couple hours. And we make a stop, usually at a hot rod shop, or we'll have breakfast tacos. Then we'll go hit up a ice house or something and end up back in Boerne. So it's about 2 hours of driving, and that's why we call it the Reliability Run. You got to, you just kind of hope that your car makes it, because anything can happen. But if your car does break down, you couldn't be in better company, because usually there's a tool for everything. It's a lot of fun. This year we'll start at the square. We'll go through Center Point, stop at a hot rod shop. We'll go through Comfort. We'll go through Welfare Wearing, and then we're going to come back into Boerne this year, and we'll reconvene at Hamby's on Main Street. So it's always fun to drive it. It'll be fun to see the cars leave, and then it'll be fun, I'm sure, for everybody to watch these cars pulling back into town and have Main Street full of cars again on a Sunday afternoon.
Right. We'll talk about that schedule here in a little bit. When we had the DAS Festival this past June, Friday was a VIP day for VIPs that registered and got the event going. Tell us what Friday's going to be like this year for the Hill Country Rod Run.
So last year on Friday, we were just setting up things and we had a little band out there, and it really wasn't a whole thing, but it became something last year. And
Midnight Friday, you guys said, next year, let's make this a little bit special.
Yeah. It just kind of turned into a party. And this year, we're just going to embrace that. And Friday night's free to the public. We have two actually metal bands from Austin that are coming down on Friday night. It's BYOB. It's a free event, free music, cool music. And then we'll have food vendors out there. And it's just a family-friendly thing. It is heavy metal music, but which I think is pretty cool, and it's kind of fun to change things up in Boerne, and it just kind of brings some new life into the event.
A little different aspect from Dos Grupo or Johnny Flores or something like that. Explain a little bit of metal for those who are listening who don't know what metal is.
Well, these metal bands that are coming up from Austin, they're kids in their 20s that are playing some pretty cool 1970s Black Sabbath inspired metal. That's going to be cool. And so we'll have that. And then I think you'll see a lot of cars just cruising up and down Main Street on a Friday night, which goes back to the whole nostalgia of just like, fun times. Yeah. So you'll see a lot of cars cruising up and down Main Street with the headlights on at night, and then music in the square. And it's just going to really try to bring back to the good old days, so to speak.
Are you Boerne native?
No, I was not born here. We've been here since 95, I think.
Okay. Back in the day when people listening, probably we could walk up and down Main Street and see a 72 Catalina or a T-Bird or a 59 Corvette driving down the street, back in the days when those were normal. That was an everyday thing.
Yeah. And, what's cool, I have a couple businesses here, so I spend most of my time on Main Street. And I've just, over the last few years, you can see more and more people getting into old cars and vintage cars and just cruising up and down. So I love it. It's fun.
Josh Mazour, you're hearing him. He's Cibolo Creek Brewing and across the street Hamby's. He's got that side of Main Street anchored down. This side of Main Street on the 11th, we've got the Hill Country Rod Run centered around the plaza. Bands playing Saturday. Are true or not?
Yes, Saturday we'll have plenty of food vendors, drink vendors, iced tea, soda vendors, and we will have free live music on Saturday as well from about 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Boerne people know whenever there's a weekend, there's something occupying the plaza. Vendors, food, music, beer. It's a weekend in Boerne.
It's good small town stuff. We have that plaza, and it's beautiful. And so I love that everybody uses it. And, we have Octoberfest coming up. Mm-hmm. DOS Fest is actually using it now, which is cool, and the Rod Run and Market Days.
What antiquities are parked in your driveway?
I have a 1972 Oldsmobile 442. A 64 Chevy short bed, a 67 Ford long bed, and some other pieces of junk, but they'll be nice one day.
Are any of those showstoppers like you'll bring them out here and park them?
So nothing that I have has a good paint job, but they have big, loud engines, so they'll be showstopper in that regard.
Now, your cars, did you have the 72 all its life, or did you acquire a car that twisted that brain and said, I remember when my brother had one, or I remember when I used to drive one.
Yeah, so the 72 442, the Cutlass, I've had for probably close to 20 years. My first car was a 72 Cutlass, and I'd sold it since. Later in life, I needed to reclaim a version of that car.
I had a Chrysler Newport was the first car I drove, and about 6 months after I got it, the reverse went out. I had it for 2 more years with no reverse. My junior and senior year in high school, I could not back out. I had people push me out of some places once in a while. 65 Chrysler Newport. You knew that thing when it was a yacht.
Yeah.
It was a yacht.
My first speeding ticket was on Ammon Road in the mid-90s. It was a 72 and a 45. I got in some pretty big trouble in that Cutlass. 72 miles an hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. So that was probably, I think, my first month of
driving.
Yeah.
Hey, how many cars are we going to have here this year? Is registration closed or registration still open?
So registration is still open. And I think as far as how many cars, we probably expect around 350 cars, could be more. I think that's about where we're at last year. So again, we line the cars up and down both sides of Main Street. The street is closed for through traffic. They'll be up there early. Those cars start showing up. We open the street to cars entering about 7 a.m., but they get restless. It's 6:30 in the morning and these guys are already wanting to get in. So,
and one thing about it, 350 cars. I walk and talk. Then you go back somewhere and you're sitting with somebody and somebody says, did you see that blank, blank, blank? No, I didn't. And it's nearly impossible to see it all. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah, and I think the idea is we try to get people to understand, like, you just keep going in circles. So you're just going to do laps all the way down Main Street and back, and you just do that throughout the day and stop and get a drink somewhere and then keep going, stop and get a snack somewhere. Right. And just, you may make laps up and down Main Street, 4 times throughout the day just to catch up on something that you didn't see before or talk to somebody else.
Talk about awards. What trophies, plaques, what divisions, and who decides what car looks the best?
So, yeah, we have a number of, they're pretty general awards categories, best Ford, Chevy. Our main sponsor, is Boerne Stage Customs, which is now located in Center Point, and so they're going to choose the best overall, and that's just up to them. But we do have a group of judges that go around quietly and look at all the cars and kind of reconvene later and stress out about who's going to get the trophy.
The Ford guys do the Fords, the Chevy guys do the Chevys.
Well, no, that's a group of guys that are just really, really well versed in everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a chore right there, because after about 3 or 4 cars, I'm amazed that my hands were created to do something different. They were created to put words into print. Just to talk to people who worked on those vehicles and fix them up and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to reinvent a vehicle. Or it's great talking to somebody who says, yeah, we found it back in my grandfather's backyard, back in the alley or something. It was trash and we restored it and it looks fantastic. Or the guy says, yeah, we ordered a kit and put it together from scratch. That's cool too.
My 64 Chevy, which I've kind of turned into a hot rod, my brother owns a flooring company, and he was doing some work at a couple's house in Comfort, and it was rotting away in the field behind their house. Yep. And they said they've been asked, they always got asked if it was for sale, is it for sale, is it for sale? And he happened to be there at the right time, the right day, and asked, and they said, you know what, today it is. I got that, and then just started chipping away at it over the years.
Yep. Folks, the voice you hear that's not mine is Josh Mazour from Cibolo Creek Brewing and Hamby's down the street. He's here in a different capacity. We're talking about the Hill Country Rod Run. Next weekend's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday's going to be a big party on the plaza. And Saturday, folks, you know how Saturdays are in Boerne. The road's blocked off. Find a good parking spot on the side road and do your walking to get down here. And be prepared to walk. Bring your walking shoes or your most comfortable sandals. It should still be warm out, so walk around, see all the beautiful, beautiful cars. The things that, where do we come from? Are most of them from this Hill Country area or San Antonio, or do you guys coming in from Austin and Dallas and El Paso?
We get cars from all over the place. Obviously there's a lot just here in Boerne and in San Antonio, but we get a lot of folks from Austin, yes. A lot of folks from South Texas. And then there is, Dallas and elsewhere. People make the drive for it. They make the drive and they come out and they stay for a night or for 2 nights. But yeah, and a lot of them, sometimes, it's really cool to see those that actually drive the car versus trailering it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with trailering it, but that's pretty cool when you get someone that says, hey, I drove 3 hours to get here in my 55 Chevy, or man, that's cool, right? So thank you.
I love to ask guys, it looks street worthy. Are you driving it home? Oh no, I'll park it. It's got 13,000 miles on it versus the guy who drove it 13,000 this month.
It's cool to see, when the cars, again, start filing in around, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and there's just a huge line, a backlog of people waiting to be parked on Main Street, and it's a really cool looking traffic jam.
Do you guys section it off?
We do not section it off, and we thought about that, but the reason that we don't is to keep people moving. You don't know what you're going to see next, and keep the flow.
Right. We're talking to Josh Mazour, Hill Country Rod Run next weekend, folks, on the 11th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Talk about Sunday. Tell us what, for those of us who are spectators Saturday, we don't get to see what you guys get to do Sunday. Tell us how fun that is.
The Sunday is a really fun new addition to the Rod Run. We meet in the square in the morning about 8 or 9 a.m., and then we go out for a drive, and we drive around the Hill Country for a couple hours. We make some stops at hot rod shops, ice houses, and then we file back into Boerne after a couple hours of driving. And this year we will end, for the first time, in Boerne on Main Street over at Hamby's. Oftentimes we've ended in other cities, but this year we opted to just to make a full circle and then come back to Boerne. So you'll see a bunch of cars leaving about 9 a.m., heading out of town. And then in a couple hours later, about 12:30, you'll see a big line of cars coming back into town.
I was just saying, are we talking 15, 20, or 100?
When it started, initially it was about 15 to 20. Last year, I think we had 30-something. So this year, it'd be cool if we get about 50 cars.
It's almost like a parade. You get in Comfort or Waring or Center Point. Here they come. All these classic cars going by.
It's cool, man. You get to watch in your rearview mirror and see all those people, and people get to, they could jump in right in anybody's car. So you get people that want to hop in your car and go for a drive from one stop to the next. And that's also a fun part, just to get in other people's cars and go right around. Some of us, like myself, will be driving ours. Yeah, I mean, if you show up early in the square and you want to hop in someone's car and go for a drive for a couple hours, come on out and do it.
Saturdays, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 7:30 to 5?
So the event on Saturday morning will begin 7:30. We start letting the cars in 7:30 a.m., and then the event will end at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday.
And what time do they block off the streets for those of us who are in our 2020 Elantras?
Yeah. Main Street will be blocked from River Road to the square. On Saturday morning, it'll be blocked off from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. So 6 folks, most of you will still be dreaming about your breakfast tacos at 6 a.m.
We'll be firing up our hot rods.
Yeah, they'll be downtown already, ready for us. Yeah, that would be a spectacle to see all those cars parking. That would be neat to watch.
It's cool. In years past, we have a map that's on the website and on social media, so some people will see that, and we'll be driving through the hill country and see cars pulled over on the side of the road, just waiting for these cars to drive by. And that was a pretty cool feeling, too. People are paying attention, not just those who are participating, but people are out there and just finding a spot to wait and watch the cars cruise past.
The cars arrive, the drivers arrive very, very early Saturday morning. You guys set up Friday night, get things ready and get things going. Tell us about this year's Friday.
So Friday, we get out there early. On Friday, we start setting up all of our tents. The food vendors start showing up, getting everything in order, tables and chairs, and the bars are getting set up. But this year, in addition to that, once we're done setting up on Friday afternoon, Friday night at about 6 o'clock, we'll have 2 metal bands from Austin that'll be up here playing music. So we'll have free music. You can come check out the square. We'll be surrounded by old cars, food vendors, beer vendors, free music. Just bring some chairs. It's free for anybody. It's BYOB, so if you want to bring a nice chest with some cold drinks for the family and for mom and dad, some libations, come hang out.
Yeah, BYOB. This is your one chance to have, you buy a 6-pack for $10.
Yeah.
It's one chance to have a beer for $2.15.
Yep. It's up to you what you want to bring, but you are more than welcome to bring a cooler and hang out, and we encourage people to do so. And a blanket or some chairs and just hang out and listen to some music and socialize. It's going to be a beautiful night, and be some pretty entertaining music, food, cars, and people.
How many cars are we going to see?
On Friday night, it's hard to say. It really just depends who gets into town early. But there should probably be 30 to 50 cars hanging around the square on Friday night, and then people cruising up and down Main Street. So it'll be a nice night just to be a spectator on Main Street. Whether you're in the square or eating at a restaurant here on Main Street, you're just going to see a lot of fun cars cruising up and down the road.
Yeah, kind of a glimpse of what's to come.
Yeah, it'll be a glimpse of what's to come, and a glimpse, I guess, maybe kind of also back into the past when people used to just cruise Main Street up and down all night.
I graduated high school in 78, so the 70s was cruising time, man. My hometown had about 5-lane wide Main Street with the turn lane in the middle, and the cars would pack that turn lane to do the turn around the square. There'd be 30 cars just sitting there. It was like they almost parked.
And there's some guys in the car club that we have that grew up in Boerne at that time. You're referencing 1978. They were probably doing that here in Boerne. So I know that it did happen in Boerne back then, and I know some of those guys.
You mentioned car clubs. What are some car clubs that are active or, that say, hey, we got 38 guys coming?
So we have a car club here in Boerne that's going to be there, Cibolo Creek Motor Club. The Barons is a car club in San Antonio that'll be out here. The Gear Grinders from San Antonio will be out here. And then there's one out of Austin that's going to be coming down. And then there are a lot of clubs that I don't know about, and I'm sure I'll meet some of them while they're here, Right. I'm still trying to get to know everybody.
Folks, I'm Jeff Flynn. I'm the managing editor at the Boerne Star. We work with Boerne Radio 103.9. Roland and Barron here to come in and get your Saturday morning started. We talk to newsmakers and event planners such as, you're not an event planner, you might as well be. Josh Mazour here from Cibolo Creek Brewing in Hamby's. He's one of the founding fathers of the reinvention. What was it called before?
It used to be called Key to the Hills Rod Run.
Key to the Hill Rod Run. It had to be 1949 or earlier American model, correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
And a couple years ago, it reinvented itself where they decided, hey, let's use a little more modernization. And you went back about 40 years and said, let's invite everything up to this stage.
Yep, that's correct. We opened it up. It was 1949 and earlier for about 35 years. And we opened it up to 1972 in our first year. And this year it's 1985 and earlier. So there's a lot of options of what can be brought out and what can be seen.
And it can be a kit car. It can be something you bought last year. It can be something you've owned since 1972.
Yeah, American made is the only
stipulation. It's beautiful. Folks, if you want to see beautiful vehicles, and I found that 9/10 of the owners are so talkative. They want to talk about their vehicle. They want to talk about the time they spent, about reminiscing about, I had a 1972 whatever. You talk to those guys, they're so happy to talk.
They're all very happy to talk. And I think those that don't have the car, that they find that car, those are the people that a lot of times will start the conversation. And so you can have a lot of great conversations throughout the day. Yeah.
Right. What's a car from your past you wish you had right now?
I wish I had my first car, 1972 Cutlass, and I sold it because I needed money when I was 20 years old or something. And I've tried to find it, but you can't locate stuff when the internet wasn't really around.
Right.
So, no one's going back and backlogging car sales from 1993 or whatever.
I wonder if you could find an insurance form that had the VIN number. I wonder if you could enter the VIN number now, trace if the car still exists.
I've tried to find the old insurance forms from the insurance company, and they said we don't have records of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was just on paper back then. They weren't saving it on some whatever that.
And, for those of you who are maybe in your late 20s, early 30s, back in the day, you could hire a 14-year-old and put him to work, or your 12-year-old could drive the car down to the corner and buy your dad his cigarettes.
Yeah, probably, actually, yes.
That stuff went on.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, folks, Rod Run next weekend. This weekend, there's so much going on. You walk out your door, you're going to see everything from Hill Country's Got Talent to the Cibolo Gala at the Cibolo Center for Conservation. There's the Walk the Mile going on. There's just so many events. It's going on right now, as a matter of fact. So get out there and enjoy yourselves. Next week, reserve time, reserve room. I don't know if there's anything else competing with you guys or not. So
probably not. If they're
smart.
It's a pretty big event. This weekend that you were talking about, there is a lot going on. All of the breweries in Boerne this weekend are doing their own version of Octoberfest.
Yeah, Octoberfest, that's right.
So 28 songs, Free Roam, Cibolo Creek, Hamby's. I'm not sure about the Dodging Duck, but they all will have Octoberfest on tap and have their own version of an Oktoberfest.
We got a Stein holding competition at 2:30 at Free Roam.
Oh yeah, I heard
and then
that.
At 3:15, Free Roam has a Oktoberfest costume contest. So if you're into doing the lederhosen and all that good stuff, Free Roam's where you want to be. Just hit any of the breweries, hit anywhere in Boerne. That's just the thing, is on weekend, get out and see people, get out and meet new people, or get out there and walk around. You see your coffee clatch over there at the Black Rifle on the patio, whatever you want to do. This weekend it's going to be easy. Everybody comes out for the Hill Country Rod Run. It's spectacular vehicles, spectacular people. A good Friday night, moving back a day. We're including Friday now. I want to see that. I want to get over here Friday and listen to some good bands. I'll just leave work and come down.
Yeah.
So, folks, circle the 10th, 11th, and 12th on your calendar. Is that right?
That's correct.
10th, 11th, and 12th. I'm jumping ahead of myself there. So, folks, I want to thank Josh Mazour for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for blasting information out. Hill Country Rod Run, you don't want to miss it.
No, you don't.
On Sunday with the drive, you guys actually do the reliability ride.
Right, yes, sir.
What time do you guys leave? Do you debark from the plaza?
Yes, so we'll be in the square in the plaza. Say we're going to leave at 9, but everybody kind of runs late because they had a long night the night before. So you'll see us leaving around 9:30 a.m.
What's the route? Are you going?
We'll head
along the way. It might be in Comfort or something.
Yeah, so we'll leave from the square and we'll head south or down Main Street, and then we'll hit Highway 46 and cross over I-10 and head back up into the hills back there.
Okay. There's a place in Center Point.
So we'll leave Boerne and then we'll head out towards Center Point to our main sponsor's shop. It's a hot rod shop called Boerne Stage Customs, and we'll sit there and have some coffee, a beer, some breakfast tacos, and then get back on the road and have a good time.
So you folks out in Center Point and Comfort, if you can't get into Boerne, hey, they're coming to you on Sunday. If you want to see a tenth of the beautiful cars, but hey, 30 or 40 beautiful cars are better than nothing. Everybody come out, Hill Country Rod Run, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Make it happen. Josh, thank you very much. Thank you, folks. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy every day here in Boerne. There's just so many things to get out and do. Next week, Hill Country Rod Run. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Have a special weekend, and God bless, and thank you for helping. See ya. Bye-bye.